Hey, what is going on with you guys? Thank you for tapping in with me again today. And if you're new to the channel, I'm Cleveland. So happy Sunday, everybody. Hope everybody having a good weekend thus far. The weekend is going great for me. As you can see, the sun is shining. I'm awake. I'm alive. I'm here. I'm feeling blessed. I'm feeling happy. It is a beautiful day. Anytime, any day that we wake up, in my opinion, it's a beautiful day. Because you know what? It wasn't a guarantee that that was bound to happen, so we're here. I'm glad to be able to talk to you guys today. I hope everyone is having a good one. I want to talk to you guys about something a little bit different today, guys. I want to talk to you guys about liabilities and assets. I want to break down exactly what a liability is, what an asset is. I want to debunk some of the myths that people say, I want to debunk some of the myths so you can understand that some of these things that you might think is an asset is actually a liability. And I want to talk about how you turn these liabilities into assets. I also want to let you know exactly what the definition of a liability is and what the definition of an asset is so you can understand it, keep it, hold on to it, utilize it, and help it make sure it serves you. So let's start by what is the definition of a liability? A liability is something that you take care of, something that you are responsible for. An asset, in turn, is something that you get revenue from, something that can work for you, something that will eventually, something that actually pays you. That is the difference. You're not as responsible for it. It has the two legs to stand on its own. The difference. So that's the basic terms, those are the basic definitions of what an asset is and what a liability is. So now that we know what an asset and a liability is, let's talk about some of these liabilities. Some of these liabilities, some people might get confused and think that's actually an asset is, let's start with a car. Oh, I know a whole bunch of you may say, what are you talking about? A car is definitely an asset, but it's not, it's a liability. Why? Because you buy it, it depreciates value as soon as you drive it off the lot after signing the contract, and you're gonna continuously keep putting more and more money into it to keep it running. That's why it's a liability. Anything that you're gonna have to do that to, that's a liability. All right, so now that we understand that cars are liabilities, let's talk about the next big one. This is almost like an elephant in the room. Houses. Oh, don't lose it. Don't nobody lose it there. Houses are liabilities, guys. Guys and gals, houses are liabilities. I know you don't understand how that could be. You worked your whole life. Hopefully that's not the case, but that's the American dream, right? To work your life, get a house, get married, have a wife, have a house, kids, dog, white picket fence. That's the dream. What they fail to tell you in that dream is that you usually will die in debt, not even owning your home. Let me change that violent word because, the way this monetization works, you work your whole life, and in the end, all you get is that house, hopefully, or you just end up in debt. That is not the American dream. That is no dream at all. I hope no one has that dream. If that was your dream, please eliminate that. That is not living. That is living your whole life in debt. And that is not, I'm gonna say it again, that is not living. It is not living to be in debt your whole life. It is not living to never own your home. That's not living. We're gonna talk about that. So now we talked about that your house is actually a liability. So how do we transform these things? We're not stuck. We don't have to just deal with the fact that our most biggest purchases are actually liabilities and will always cause us to spend money. Again, I didn't tell you about the reason why the house is a liability. You buy the house, it's already old. If it's brand new, great. If it's not, it's going to continue to depreciate. Everything depreciates. Some things hold better value than others, though. Keep that in mind. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about some of the things that's best for you to invest money into, things that's not going to depreciate as fast. We'll talk about that in another topic, and then we'll talk about that in another video. So the house is a liability because as things break, you're taking money out, you're fixing it. If you need a new roof, you got to fix it. You need a new foundation, you got to fix it. You need new flooring, you got to fix it. You need landscape, you got to fix it. You need paint, you got to fix it. You need plumbing, you got to fix it. Electrician needs to fix it. HVAC, you got to fix it. Do you see the theme here? Every time something breaks, and that can happen with a house, the older it gets, you're putting money out into it. That's why it is a liability and not an asset, even if you feel like it's an asset, because you internally take it in and say, you know what, this is my house, this is my safe haven, this is what I worked so hard for. This is an asset. I'm sorry, it's not. It's a liability. The way that you make these things assets, you find a way to make money from these things. If it's a car, they have a such thing in I don't know about everywhere else, but in California they have something called Toro. It may be the United States in general. They have something called Toro. If you have a very nice car, let's say you want to get something foreign. If you don't know what a foreign car is, that's a car that is a European car, German car, anything like that. We're talking about Maseratis, we're talking about BMWs, Mercedes, we're talking about Lambos, Ferraris, all these different kind of cars, McLarens, all these different kind of cars, Range Rovers, all these different kind of cars are called foreign. That's what we call them. So you get you a foreign car, you put it on Toro. That means that people will pay you to drive around in your car. You're almost like a rental company, a rental service, your own business, right? You could rent these cars, you could rent these amazing foreign cars, exotic cars to other people, and they'll pay you. Your car is paying for itself. The car is putting money in your pocket. Now it's an asset. What other ways can you utilize your car to actually work for you and put money in your pocket so it's no longer a liability and it is now an asset? If you bought you a car, and let's just say, let's do it like this. You decided that you want to start driving for Amazon. You're using your own car. You find a way to make a business, come up with a business name. Now you use your car for business. Now your car is putting money in your pocket. All of my cars pay for themselves. Every car I've made work for me and pay for itself. And that's the thing, you want to make your car work for you. You know, it's easier when you, and I'm not talking about you working a 9 to 5, going back and forth, because the car is not working for you. Y'all both are working for that company. But now when you make your own business and you make your own moves and your car is working for you in that regard, it's paying for itself. That's the difference. If you have a house, you want to do Airbnb, it's paying for itself, asset. If you decide to just rent it out, asset. There's so many different things. If you want to turn it to a group home, asset. You could take that same home that you spent all that money and find a way to get some revenue from it, and it is now an asset and no longer a liability. Now, granted, we all fight to have that home for our families, that first home. That is very important, but that's where you have to understand that you don't celebrate with that first house. Celebrate on your 4th house. Celebrate on your 5th house. And I'm talking about paid off. Celebrate then. Don't allow your cap, the top of your ladder, be that first house, because it will become your first house. It may be the last house. Now, how does that sound? How does that feel? How does that make you feel, that literally your first house is your first and last house? This house that we're standing in right here, we're not celebrating being right here, because this is a stepping stone. This is a rung on our ladder. We already know we want to get more properties. We already know what we want to do with the next property. We already know that we want to get land and invest into land and build on that land. We already know all this. That's the plan. That's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do. That's the difference. And this is the dreaming, envisioning, imagining that I'm telling you about all the time, that's so important. And that's what you want to make sure that you are always doing. You're promoting it. You're encouraging it in your children because that's where everything lies. It's in the things that we can't see. It's not always in the things that we see in front of, because the things that we see in front of us, somebody else put in front of us. Did you catch that? Did you catch that? Everything that's put in front of you, everything that's in front of you, somebody else put in front of you. I'll break that down for you real quick. The reason why is because everything that we see, somebody else dreamed, imagined, made, brought to fruition, and we're utilizing it. What have you made that got put in front of you? Kids? What else? What else have you actually created? And that's why you're enjoying it. That's why the rest of the world is enjoying it. Is there anything? It's important to fill this world with things that you created that other people has the privilege to enjoy. You could turn any liability into an asset by making it a business. If you want to have big chains, jewelry, gold teeth, whatever the case may be, start you a business, buy it under your business name, write it off. You're going to buy it anyway, write that off. That's the key, that's the ticket. And that works with a car, a phone, guys. You get the phone in your business name. Now your phone is an asset. It's not a liability. You're making money on your phone. It's an asset now. You're able to write that off at the end of the year. You want to look fly, you want to dress good, you want some new shoes, you already got your business started, cool. Go buy that wardrobe. You're going to have a business meeting in that wardrobe, right? You write off that wardrobe. What you want to eat that day. You have a business meeting, that paid for that meal. Business paid for that meal. You want to travel? Pass out some business cards when you travel. Have some business meetings. Write that trip off. Now, don't get me wrong, you're still paying for these things, right? But the difference is you pay yourself. Or do you want to pay Uncle Sam or do you want to pay yourself? You want to pay Uncle Sam or do you want to pay yourself? Because you could do either or. And the thing is, if you don't choose one, you automatically get picked for one. Kind of like when you play as a kid and y'all was picking teams, and then in the end, the last person that didn't get picked still end up going on the team that needed the person. Do not let life decide for you. Do not let life tell you where you're going to go, because if you don't decide to go in a direction, in a destination, to a destination, life is going to put you and make you go any way that it wants you to go. That happens automatically. You have no choice with that. So choose to go in a direction, choose to do something about this information that you're getting. And if you have any questions about anything that I've said, please do not hesitate to drop them down in the comment section. This conversation we will continue to talk on, because I want the merch that I provide. I make a lot of different merch. I make a lot of different designs for a lot of different merch. One of them down below, and it says tourism over consumerism, things like that, assets over liabilities. Man, it is important for you to understand what you're digging into, so that way we could better teach our kids, and that way we could better understand, and then that way we could better leave better footprints in the sand for others to follow. So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you guys for watching another episode of Tapping In. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Follow me on Instagram at The Fish Corner. Follow me on Facebook, The Fish Corner. Follow me on TikTok, The Fish Corner. Guys, I will catch you in that next video. Peace.